shall have a discussion on a very interesting topic, that is application of mathematics in business. So there are many concepts in mathematics, many different areas, many different theorems and many different approaches available in various fields of mathematics. There are only certain simple concepts which have a direct influence in the day-to-day life or on commercial activities like business and so on. So one such important topic is your business max, which involves partnerships or joint ventures. In any real time, 2 or 3 people come together, invest money. The money that is being invested to start a business is called capital. So 2 or 3 people or more than one, or even at times a single man or a woman can himself start a business. But in partnership business, 2 or 3 people or more than that number of people come together, invest certain amount of money and then start a business. What is the main intention of business? To make profit. So the capital is being invested and then profits are made. When there are more number of partners, the profit must be shared between them. So there are mathematical concepts related to this particular process, where how to share the profit that is being reaped out of a business process among those partners. So what do you mean by partners? People who come together, invest money to start a business. They are called partners, and the relationship between them is called as the partnership. The amount each one invests is called his particular capital. Now for example, to start a business, there are 3 partners, say A, B and C. A invests rupees 1000, B invests rupees 2000 and C invests rupees 3000. Now these 3, A, B and C, are known as partners, and the amount they invest, for example, A has invested 1000 rupees and this 1000 rupees is the capital that is being invested by A. What is the total capital invested for the business? It is the sum of the money that is being invested by all these partners, A, B and C. Here it is 1000 plus 2000 plus 3000. So 6000 rupees has been invested for this business, and that particular investment is known as capital. So partners, what do you mean by partnership? What do you mean by capital? Now each one invests a particular money, the business is carried out, and what is the ultimate thing? You will make profit. Either you will make profit or there will be a loss. There are 2 possibilities in a business. There may be profits or there may be loss. Loss can be shared, but it will not be a resource. Whereas profit will be shared among all the partners depending upon the money invested. The partner who has invested a larger amount of money will get a larger share of the final profit. So sharing of profits. So these are the concepts involved in business max. So let us see, and we are getting into this particular topic at the right time, because we had discussions on ratios, proportions, percentages, averages, number theory, etc. in a previous modules and in the CD number 1, as well as in CD number 2 we have discussed simple interest and those particular modules. So these are some main modules which are going to have a direct influence in this particular topic, especially averages, ratios, percentages, etc. will play a vital role in business mathematics. So let us see some formulas. There is no specific formula, but there is a single formula how to divide the profit between the partners. We shall see that. When the partners are investing in a business for different lengths of time, then how will you share the profit? In this case, when the partners invest in a business for different length of time, the profit will be shared between them in the ratio of their investment for their respective period. For their respective investment period. That is, let us say there are 2 partners, A and B, in a business. A is investing rupees X. A is investing rupees X for P months. B is investing rupees Y for Q months. A is investing rupees X for P months and B is investing rupees Y for Q months. In this case, how will you share the profit? The ratio of division of gains among A and B in this case will be ratio of capital invested by A for P months is to ratio of capital invested by B for Q months. In this particular ratio, the gains will be shared. That is rupees X for P months. So X into P is to rupees Y for Q months. Y into Q. So XP is to YQ. X into P is to Y into Q. So this is the case for different length of investment period. When we come to the problem, it would be much more easier. So these are the two simple formulas. Here you can see initially it says the concept of ratios are used. In the future you may even use concepts of averages, percentages, profit and loss, etc. So in this, here we have a problem number 1. Joe, Stevens and Sam. Joe, Stevens and Sam are starting a business. Initially in the business they are investing rupees 1,20,000, 1,35,000 and 1,50,000 respectively. Joe, Stevens and Sam. So their annual, for the same length of time. In our question it is given that it is for the same length of time. We need not worry about what is the length of time, whether it is 1 year or 2 year or 3 year, that doesn't matter. It is for same length of time and the total profit achieved out of the business is given as rupees 56,700. So there are 3 people, Joe, Stevens and Sam are investing rupees 1,20,000, 1,35,000 and 1,50,000 initially in a business, and for the same length of time. At the end their total profit is rupees 56,700. Now the time has come to share this profit between these 3 people. Now if they had invested same amount of money, this will be divided equally. If Joe, Stevens and Sam had invested same amount of money, then the profit will be shared equally between the 3. But here it is not the case, where 3 of them have invested 3 different amounts. So we have to apply the formula. It is for same length of time. Therefore we have the formula ratio of division of gains. Sharing of profit formula. Ratio of division of gains between Joe, Stevens and Sam for the same length of time will be in the ratio of, that is, Joe's investment is to Stevens investment. Investment or capital. Stevens capital or investment, whatever you want you can write. Stevens investment is to Sam's. Fine. Joe's investment is to Stevens investment is to Sam's investment. What is Joe's investment? So 1,20,000 is to 1,35,000 is to 1,50,000. Fine. This is in ratio. When we were discussing ratios, we have learned how to reduce this into the simplest form. Initially you can cancel the zeros. 120 is to 135 is to 150. So taking 5s, it is, once again it is 8, 9, 10. So reducing it to the simplest terms, it is 8 is to 9 is to 10. We have learnt how to reduce the ratio in the simplest term in our previous module. I think in our first set of series we have learnt about ratios and proportions. So 8 is to 9 is to 10. You have to divide this profit 56,700 in the ratio of 8 is to 9 is to 10 between Joe, Stephen and Sam. So how we will do that? It is step number 2. So this is your step number 1, and in your step number 2, what you should do is 8 is to 9 is to 10. We know, we have discussed in our ratios module how to divide a given number in the term of ratios. So 56,700 must be divided in the ratio of 8 is to 9 is to 10. So Joe's profit, how will you find Joe's profit share? Joe's profit share will be found out by multiplying 56,700 into Joe's share is 8 by, what is the total thing? 10 plus 9, it is 19, plus 8, it is 27. Okay, so to find the profit share of Joe, multiply the total profit by his particular share divided by the total value of profit ratios. So 10 plus 9 is 19, plus 8 is 27. 8 by 27 into 56,700 will give you the profit share of Joe. So the answer here is multiply 16,800 rupees. Fine. So Joe's share of profit is 16,800 rupees. Now the next one, Stephen's share. Stephen's profit share is equal to 56,700 into 9 by 27. That is rupees 18,900. For Sam's profit share is equal to 56,700 into 10 by 27 is equal to rupees 21,100. So are we getting it right? Just add and see. 8 is to 9 is to 10. So who will have the highest profit? Sam, because Sam has invested the maximum amount of money. So Sam's profit will be the highest. Next will be Stephen's. Next will be Joe's. On adding everything, you should get 56,700. That is 20, 34, 34, 35,700, 35,700, and it is 56,700. So you are getting your answer right. This will be your Joe's profit, Stephen's and Sam. So this is the basic approach for any partnership problems. So we have got a problem in case 2 here. There are 3 people in this problem too: Alfred, Joe and Ronnie. Alfred, Joe and Ronnie are starting a business. Alfred initially invested rupees 45,000 and started the business. Joe joined the business after 3 months by investing rupees 60,000 and the business was going on. After 6 months, another person, third person named Ronnie, joined the same business by investing rupees 90,000. Now at the end of the year, that is 12 months after starting the business, the total profit at the end of the year was rupees 16,500. Now you are asked to find the share of profit of Alfred, Joe and Ronnie. You need to find the respective share of profit of Alfred, share of profit of Joe and share of profit of Ronnie. So this is case number 2, because here 3 people have not invested the money for the same length of time. They have invested for different periods. See, Ronnie has invested the maximum amount. Do you think he'll get the maximum share? May or may not, because though he has invested the highest amount in the business, he has invested only after 6 months starting a business. That means if it is in a year, he has invested the amount only for 6 months. Whereas Alfred, though he has invested only rupees 45,000, he has invested for the entire year. So in this case, how will you share the profit? You need to apply the second formula, that is ratio of division of gains. Ratio of division of gains between Alfred, Joe and Ronnie. Now first find out, you need to rewrite this. First find out how much did Alfred invest? Rupees 45,000. Now note the thing here, they have given the profit at the end of the year. So it is for at the end of the year, in the sense Alfred has invested money for 12 months, isn't it? This is an annual profit. So Alfred had invested rupees 45,000 for 12 months. Fine. Next, Joe. Joe had invested rupees 60,000 for how many months? After 3 months starting the business. So 12 minus 3, 9. So Joe has invested rupees 60,000 for 9 months. Next, Ronnie. Ronnie has invested rupees 90,000 after 6 months. That means 12 minus 6, he has invested money for 6 months. So now we have got the capital of each partner and the investment period of each partner. Shall we apply the formula? What is the formula? That is capital, Alfred's capital. Alfred's capital for 12 months is to Joe's capital for how many months? 9 months is to Ronnie's capital for 6 months. Therefore, Alfred's capital for 12 months, 45,000 into 12 is to 60,000 into 9. 60,000 into 9 and 90,000. Ronnie's capital for 6 months. So into 6. For 6 months, his capital was 90,000. But when you want to calculate the share of profit, that 90,000 was there for 6 months. So you need to multiply it by the investment period. So 45,000 into 12, 60,000 into 9, 90,000 into 6. So shall we simplify it? So 45 into 12, 60 into 9, 90 into 6, isn't it? So on simplifying you will get it. So 1 is to 1 is to 1. Here see, 3 people have invested different amount of money for different period of time, but after applying the formula we have found out that the share of profit between Alfred, Joe and Ronnie is same. The profit needs to be equally divided between the 3 because the ratio is 1 is to 1 is to 1. So now shall we find out the profit? Find out the share of profit, 16,500. So in the normal method what shall we do? This is step 1, and step 2 for Alfred. Alfred's profit will be 16,500 into 1 by 3. 1 by 3. So 5 rupees 5,500. Since the share of profit is same, you need to equally divide the profit between 3. So once you have found out it is rupees 5,500, the same will be the Joe's and Ronnie's profit. Ronnie's share of profit will be rupees 5,500. So this is the share of profit between Alfred, Joe and Ronnie. It is equally divided. The profit is equally divided between 3 of them. 5,500, 5,500, 5,500. So here's another problem. It is a mixture of case 1 and case 2. See, Naveen, Raju and Lalu have invested rupees 20,000 initially in a business. So Naveen, Raju and Lalu, 3 people come together, each invest rupees 20,000 and start a business. So what is the total capital? 60,000. With 60,000 rupees, all these 3 people together started a business. After 5 months, Naveen withdrew rupees 5,000. So understand one thing, there are 2 kinds of partners, working partner and sleeping partner. What do you mean by a working partner? Now say A and B are investing certain amount of money and starting a business. A is investing the money and carrying out the business. He looks after the business, he does all the activities, he makes new process and carries out the entire business process. He finds himself responsible for the profit or loss making in a business. This person is called as the working partner. A partner who invests the money and carries out the business process. He is called as the working partner. Who is called as a sleeping partner? Now say B has invested money but he does not take part in any of the business activities. He simply invests the money. He never takes part in any of the business process. He is called as the sleeping partner. So the division of gains among the working partner and the sleeping partner depends upon the company's policy or the agreement between 2 of them. And another one thing, the capital amount you are investing will not change. For example, see, all Naveen, Raju and Lalu has invested rupees 20,000 initially. So this is the working capital. 20,000 was given by Naveen, 20,000 by Raju, 20,000 by Lalu, 60,000 rupees is there. So this is static. After 5 months, Naveen is withdrawing rupees 5,000 from his share of capital. Naveen has invested 20,000 as the capital. From that 20,000, he is withdrawing rupees 5,000. Similarly, after 5 months, Raju withdraws rupees 4,000 from his share of capital. But Lalu invests rupees 6,000 more. Lalu has already invested 20,000 initially for the business. After 5 months, he is investing 6,000 rupees more. So his investment has gone to his share of capital. Lalu's share of capital after 5 months is how much? 20,000 plus 6,000, 26,000. But Naveen's initial capital investment was rupees 20,000. After 5 months, he has withdrawn rupees 5,000. So what is Naveen's capital investment after 5 months? 20,000 minus 5,000, that is 15,000. So it is a simple thing. First thing, the capital investment period is different. So what is the formula? That is Naveen's ratio of division of gains between Naveen, Raju and Lalu is Naveen's capital. Naveen's capital Naveen's capital, okay, we'll come to that, is to Raju's capital is to Lalu's capital. Now why I'm just writing it as capital, because Naveen, for the first 5 months it is different, and for the next remaining month it is different. So we shall calculate. How to calculate after the next step? What is Naveen's capital for the, see, the total profit at the end of the year. Since it is given at the end of the year, you need to consider the whole thing for 12 months. Initially it is 20,000. That is, write down the data. Initially, you need to calculate for 12 months. That is, initially rupees 20,000. After 5 months, Naveen withdraws 5,000. So 20,000 rupees is invested by Naveen for the first 5 months. Then for the remaining 7 months, after 5 months, he withdraws 5,000 from this amount. So it will become, his share of capital will become 15,000. This is invested for the remaining amount of year. That is remaining period of year into 7. Are you getting this step clearly? Naveen invested 20,000 initially. After 5 months, he withdrew rupees 5,000. So for the first 5 months, his capital is 20,000. So when calculating his share of profit, 20,000 is invested for 5 months. For the remaining 7 months, 15,000 rupees was Naveen's capital. So 20,000 into 5 plus 15,000 into 7. Now for Raju, 20,000 into 5 plus he withdrew rupees 4,000. So the remaining amount will be 16,000 into 7. Then for Lalu, he invested 20,000 for 5 months. After that, he invested 6,000 rupees more. Therefore, 26,000. His share of capital for the next 7 months will be 26,000. Hope this step is clear. From this step, you can simplify the ratios. How to simplify the ratios? That is 0, 0, 0, 0. So once you get this step, perform the multiplication and addition operation, reduce it to the simplest term. On calculation, you will get 205 is to 212 is to 282. So this will be the simplest ratio terms. Now you need to divide the total profit 69,900 in the ratio of 205 is to 212 is to 282. So what is the step? First, to calculate Naveen's share of profit. Naveen's share of profit will be given by the formula rupees 69,900. Total profit into Naveen's share is 205 by, what is the total amount? 200, 400, 600, 699. 699. Similarly, so 699, it directly goes. So rupees 20,500. Next, Raju's share of profit is equal to rupees 69,900 into 212 by 69. 212 by 699. That is nothing. Directly you can write by seeing the values, just multiplied by 100. 21200. Similarly, Lalu's share is 69,900 into 282 by 699 is equal to rupees 282. From the first calculation you can directly write, because 205 into 100, 212 into 100, 282 into 100. So this is the share of profit of Naveen, Raju and Lalu. So this problem is an example for, initially when you do such problems, it is better that you understand each and every step, go very slowly. While then with a good practicing and good understanding of such problems, you can most probably get into the answer very quickly. But initially try to understand each and every step. So this was the given problem, and this is a classic example for both investing as well as disinvestment. Now we have a problem where we are going to involve the concept that we have studied in word problems. In our first 5 modules discussed in the CD set 1, we have gone through examples of word problems. So here there is a word problem kind. Amla invests 3 times as B, as Babu, and Babu invests 2/3 times as Chandra. Fine. So there are 3 people, Amla, Babu and Chandra. So 3 people are investing certain amount of money, but the amount of money invested is not given. Instead it is given in the type of a word problem format. Amla invests 3 times as Babu, and Babu invests 2/3 times as Chandra. The profit at the end of the year was rupees 6,600. We need to find the Babu's share of profit. We need to find Babu's share of profit. So what is the technique that we have learnt in word problem? The principal rule is we need to take the simplest value as the unknown variable. Amla has invested 3 times as Babu. We don't know what is the money invested by Babu, but it is given as Babu has invested 2/3 times as Chandra, but we don't know what is the amount invested by Chandra. So but we have a hint for Amla and Babu. We do not have any hint for the amount of money that is being invested by Chandra. So let us take, so let Chandra's capital be rupees X. If Chandra's capital is rupees X, what is Babu's capital? What is Babu's capital? Rupees 2/3 X. If Babu's capital is rupees 2/3 X, what is Amla's capital? Rupees 3 times. 3 times of Babu's capital. So 3/3 get cancelled. Rupees 2x. Fine. We have got the capital of Amla, Babu and Chandra. Now they have invested for the same period of time. If it is for same period of time, what is the ratio of division of gains between Amla, Babu and Chandra? We have a formula, that is Amla's capital. Amla's capital is to Babu's capital is to Chandra's capital. Fine. So what is Amla's capital? 2x. 2x is to what is Babu's capital? 2/3x. What is Chandra's capital? Rupees X. X gets cancelled. 2 is to 2/3 is to 1. In our ratios and proportion module, we have learned how to simplify these ratios. Take the LCM and simplify it. That is 6 is to 2 is to 3. Isn't it? So the profit 6,600 should be shared between Amla, Babu and Chandra in the ratio 6 is to 2 is to 3. So what you are asked to find out? You are asked only to find out Babu's share of profit. So how will you calculate Babu's share of profit? Rupees. Total profit is 6,600. What is Babu's share? 2. What is the total number? 3 plus 2, 5 plus 6, 11. So 6,600 into 2 by 11. That is rupees 1,200. So Babu's share of profit is rupees 1,200. So the capital was not given, and we still do not know what is the capital of Amla, Babu and Chandra. But with the given information, we were able to find out the Babu's share of profit. So in this particular problem, as you have noticed in the question, the ratio of division of gains between A and B is directly given. That is, A invested, there are two people A and B who are partners. A is investing rupees 76,000 and B is investing rupees 57,000 after a few months. The number of months is not given. A has invested 76,000, B has invested 57,000 after a few months. So initially A started the business and then B joined by investing 57,000. In all the previous problem, this information was given and we calculated or we found out the ratio of division of gains between the partners. But in this particular problem, the ratio of division of gains between A and B at the end of the year is given as 2:1. Since at the end of the year, the profit is calculated for 12 months. The profit is not given. After how many months is not given. The ratio of division of gains is given between A and B, and that is 2:1. You are asked to find after how many months did B invest. So shall we proceed with the given information? The thing is, let us go by the traditional formula method. First thing, you know A's capital, B's capital. So what is the ratio of their capital? Ratio of capitals of A and B is what? 76,000 for 12 months. Because it is given for a particular year. So 76,000 is invested by A for 12 months and 57,000 rupees is invested by B after a few months. We do not know what is that month. So let us consider it as X. Isn't it? 57,000 is invested for few months. Let that be after few months. So after few months be X. So the total number of month for which B invests 57,000 is 57,000 into 12 minus X. You need to find out the value of X. So how will you write it? 76 into 12 is to 57 into 12 minus X. Okay. You have got this value. Actually, what is this value? This is nothing but the ratio of division of gains between A and B. You have found out the ratio of division of gains between A and B. Okay? But it is already given 2:1. So this value is nothing but it is equal to 2:1. In our ratios and proportion modules which we have discussed earlier, A is to B is nothing but A by B, isn't it? A is to B is nothing but A by B. Similarly, when I say proportions, A is to B is proportion with C is to D. How will you write it? A by B is equal to C by D. So these two ratios are proportionate. Proportionate in the sense it is in this formula, that is 76 into 12 is to 57 into 12 minus X is in proportion with 2:1. We have discussed about the proportion concept. So how will you write? You need to write in this formula. 76 into 12 by 57 into 12 minus X is equal to 2/1. Since this particular value and this one is proportion, you need to write it in this method. So what is the answer? 76 into 12 is equal to 2 into 57 into 12 minus x. So what is the value? 2, 6 and 3, 2, 19, 19, 8, isn't it? So x is equal to 4 months. So B invested rupees 57,000 after 4 months. So this is the way to calculate. B has invested rupees 57,000 after 4 months. So here we are using the concept of ratios and proportions. We are assuming that the unknown value as x and we are finding it as 4 months.